I'd like to talk about the new curriculum in English. So English
Curriculum vitae, SCV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in my country the system has changed this year, and now the students should talk to their teachers. They answer the questions. Um, there is not only the things that improve their writing skills, but also their speaking, listening skills, and reading skills as well. So the teacher assess their students with these four core skills anymore, and I find it really useful. So good. It will be better soon, and I think we will see the um, improvement of our students soon.
Is
Knowledge of their English.
exactly that's true. If that is incorporated into the system, right? If that is what they have adopted, speaking with the teachers. Because again, if you're not, how can you learn a language without speaking it? So if speaking has taken a front seat in the language learning system or process, then of course it's gonna help a lot for people, not only learn grammar or be able to write, but also to really express themselves fluently. So that's a good observation. That is a good system or a new strategy innovation in the language learning system. Thank you for adding that, Hassan.
You're welcome. I want to add something more last thing,
Okay,
Isaac, if you want.
sure.
Thank you. I will try to keep it short. Um, um, as far as I see, when I look at the students, um,
I have a question.
most of yeah,
Oh, sorry. You can, yes, finished after I say.
okay, thank you. Um, if they don't want to, if they think of that they don't need English, they don't learn English. So I see that, I observe that. But some of my students, just rare of them, just immerse themselves in the language environment, like talking to people on Tandem or Discords. They have friends from the USA and in the UK and I see that their English um, is amazing. But if a person thinks that a student or person thinks that English is not necessary, so what will I do with that? If he thinks like that, he probably can't learn that language. So this is my opinion
Thank
and
you.
observation.
Yeah, that's great. So you were talking about the value that a person attaches to a language. If a person doesn't see the value in a particular language, then of course the person is gonna say, "What is the point learning this?" So that's a great observation. It's all about uh, even first of all, the question you need to ask yourself: Why do I have to learn this language? If indeed a person sees a value in it, then of course it's not only going to be a motivation, but also it's going to, it will serve as a driving force for the person to keep on learning the language because the person can see the value that it would deliver to the person, after learning that particular language. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I have a question, Isaac.
Yeah, okay. You can ask your question.
How can I improve my English? Oh, this is correct, I think.
Yeah, how can I improve my
Yes.
English?
Speaking, it's main speaking.
Okay.
What do you think about my speaking? It's middle, maybe it's bad, yes. But I want to try. explain. Sometimes I can explain.
Okay. So if you want to improve your English, this is the first thing you should do. First of all, you should speak. If especially if it's about speaking, it's about speaking more and more and more. Always make sure that you are speaking, right?
But sometimes, if I join in a party, sometimes it's beginner or elementary speaking conversation. But I want to advanced or pre-intermediate like this, or how can I use difficult words, complicated, for example.
Oh, I think can I first
Because
answer that question before Isaac? Is it
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, sure. You can
So
respond to that. Sure.
if you want to speak it, maybe you can like because you have like filters on this app that you will filter on people who are native in English and that you will talk to them and that you get like a one-to-one private conversation with them, you know?
oh, we in Tandem I have yes filter for advanced. How how can I do this?
Um, how do you do that? Oof. You go to, I think you
Okay,
go to,
I can go. Oh yes, you say finish. Yes, sorry,
I
sorry.
think it's on
yes,
your profile. You select the things you're searching for. And like in my case, I'm a native speaker, a Spanish native speaker, and I'm searching for learn only English. If I select another language, I can as well check for another issues, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah. And where you do that, you go to chats, and then you have a bunch of chats, or you have none. It depends. And then you have like this the loop, the thing that you can search for, and next to it you have like you have like nothing. Oh, sorry. You go to I'm very sorry. You go to community, and then you go to like you have like the loop, the thing where you search, and next to that it says filter.
Okay. Thank you
Okay.
for that direction. I hope
Thank
Zeju
you.
will be able to navigate to that part, right? So, if you want to improve your English, first of all, you need to speak. Speak with what you have. And when you attend tandem parties, um, try to try to get opportunity to speak. And it doesn't matter which party you're joining. Yeah, sometimes it's for advanced people, but also you can just pop in there and say one or two sentences that you know, and that is all right. And I think with the filter system, that can help you to find a party that is just that suits your level. So with that in mind, you can always join parties or you can start your own party. As a matter of fact, the next thing you need is you need feedback, right? It's not just about speaking, because what if you're speaking the wrong thing again and again? You need feedback that will help you to correct your mistakes, because if you're making the same mistakes again and again, then of course you're not gonna be improving. So make sure that you have a system in place, or you have somebody, or somehow find a teacher or a friend, anybody that can help you, pinpoint the mistakes you're making and correct them. That is a feedback that you need. And it's also about your discipline and your goals, the goals you have. Do you have weekly goals? Do you have monthly goals? Because if you don't have goals and you're not doing something every single day to propel you towards, fluency, then of course, no matter what you do, you're not really gonna improve that much. So I would suggest that you have a goal, like daily, weekly, and monthly goals that including activities that you would do. So with that, you will see massive improvement, moving forward. So that is what I would suggest you do: speaking, feedback, and setting goals for yourself.
That's right, but could I ask a question, please?
Ahmed, are you saying something?
Yeah, I said that's right, that's true, but could I ask a question, please?
Yeah. Go for it. If you have a question, you can ask.
Yeah, how to set your own plan, or just how you select your goal daily or weekly or monthly to see the results, the good results you mentioned. Because I'm here to find it, because I'm not good in that and I didn't see any improvement, and I couldn't so select what I need and work for it. So
Oh,
could you tell me?
okay. So this has to do with goal setting, right? So it doesn't matter what subject you are learning or whatever it is, you know how to set a goal, right? So if you have something you want to achieve, then of course you have to make a plan, and that plan should include a daily activities, weekly, monthly, and even yearly things you're supposed to do in order to get or achieve that particular goal. Now, in terms of language learning, the same thing applies, right? So, if you want to learn English, if you want to improve your English, first of all, ask yourself, which aspect of English do I want to improve? And I would suggest just look at English as a general, discipline. So, what you have to ask yourself is, okay, I have 1 year to improve my English to speak fluently. So within this year, what do I have to do? All right. Maybe you need to take a class. Maybe you need to do speaking practice. Maybe you need to learn grammar, right? Grammar rules. Whatever it is that you think you need to improve, just write them down and make sure that every day, every week, you are inserting certain activities, in the plan that you will sit down and do those activities. It could be reading, it could be listening, it could be you just sitting down and writing some vocabulary and using them in sentences. It could also mean popping up, when I say popping up in Tandem, just coming to Tandem and joining parties and applying the information you've learned in speaking. You see, this is what I talk about: plans, goals, and plans and activities. Right? You have a goal, you set a plan, and then you include activities in those plans, and make sure that you execute those tasks, those activities, and with that, I believe you'll be able to improve your English. I hope this helps. Now, let me go back to news. If I hope I'm getting it correct. So, news, what's up?
Yes, well, I'm here just listening.
Great news. Yeah. So, news. Any other thing you wanna add to the party so far?
Well, as you can more or less listening, I already have a good fluent English, I guess. But for the more beginners that probably are listening to me right now, I recommend to first think about what do you want to learn, because any language is easier and funnier if you are a little bit focused about what you're searching for. Because, for example, if you are about to learn English for chat with friends, don't be 1 hour reading about grammar because it's getting boring. Do it more handy, because I don't know if there's someone a little bit more focused about to learn something about your job. Try to mix it, not always such a boring, because otherwise you get obsessed and mad and lazy, as Seku said before. Try to find something funny, as listen to music, try to translate the music. I don't know, that's my point of view.
Thank you.
Now think about something. Like if you want to learn a language, then you first need to know like the alphabet. I just thought about it.
All right.
Yeah, come on. But step by step, the world was not done in one day. Obviously, everyone has a different level, but I mean, to practice with something useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, news. That is great. Yeah, practice with something useful, something that you find interesting, right? So that it doesn't become boring. Because if it becomes boring, then of course you lose the motivation. That is true. But sometimes you got to go through the boring things, right, in order to get to the other end. So it's more about, yeah, it's more about just being disciplined.
Indeed.
So,
But that,
Mister, I want to welcome Mister. What's up?
Yeah, yes. What's up, Aisha? Hello.
Hello, Mister.
Hello. And the first time, I want to say hello to everybody. Hello, this beautiful group. And the second time, on the other hand, I want to say, Aisha, thank you for your thank you for everything. And especially I'm here and start to learn a lot of things with you. I think you have a good voice and you have a good vibe. I try to say thank you for everything.
I
I
appreciate
learned
that.
so much with you.
Thank you, Mister. All right, so Mister, do you want to share with us some few strategies that you know or you use to help you learn language?
Yes, I was here. In the first time, I think the first step, if you want to learn English, the first step obviously is necessary. You want to learn is the first step, and the second, obviously, for me, in my opinion, is necessary. You trust yourself. Okay, and the first step is you want to learn, and the second thing is important. Trust yourself. Is my opinion about learn English.
Thank you so much. Now let me
Thank
welcome,
you.
yeah, Varduhi. I hope I got the name correct. Varduhi, what's up?
Yes, it's correct. It's perfect. Nothing much. I just joined you, and the topic is really interesting to me. And well, I'm teaching English, and meanwhile learning, and teaching gave me a lot of things, a lot of skills, and I'm really happy to do this job. I'm kind of person who is getting bored very easily, but this thing, I mean, teaching, I have been doing already 3, 4. I was not confident enough. I was not. I was like in my whole life. I was learning English, and also I speak Spanish, and but still, I just feel I need to practice more and more, and every day I'm learning. And but nowadays, I feel much more better. I mean, I feel confident, and I feel I am kind of useful for people. And whenever I feel like I have also teaching skills, because they like me to have as their teacher, so they keep me going, they keep me just stay, and yes, not to change my job, because I'm kind of sometimes I just doubt, maybe I should do something else, maybe I should try new things. But so far I have students, so I like what I'm doing. I'm happy what I'm doing. Maybe a few years more, I don't know. Uh, my question is whether anybody else is teaching English. Do we have English teachers here?
Yeah, we do. Valduhi, thank you for that, you know, contribution. Myself, I'm an English teacher. I teach business English, so I'm happy to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting me here. And I would be really happy to listen to all of you, and to learn something new, to discuss something new, and yes, to know new people, and this is a really good platform for quite serious people. You know, it has been maybe 2-3 weeks that I use this app for just language parties, and it's really nice opportunity to meet good people, to meet polite and serious people, not just like dating app, or whenever like maybe you have already found your partner and you don't want anymore to date, but you still want to just practice English talking. It's not only about dating, it's just about communication. It's just about meeting new people, seeing what people do in different parts of the world. And yes, I like this app, and
Right.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank
Right.
you. We are happy. It's a pleasure to have you here. Let me welcome Kadi. What's up, Kadi?
It's KD.
Yeah, Katie, right? Thank you.
So I just thought I'd come in to give in a few tips, as I am a native English speaker. I guess you can probably tell by my accent.
Absolutely, go for it.
So I've been trying to learn French. I'm not too far into it. I'm very early days, but some things that I've found that have helped me like extremely. I found this tip on the internet to say, 5 things that you say daily. You translate it from, your native language to the language you want to speak in, and you practice it over and over. So 5 things every day. That's helped me a lot. Also with, if I assume quite a lot of people on here, Netflix. Netflix is a big platform that I'm sure a lot of you use in here, and I use it on a daily data basis. And so what I've done is I've changed my Netflix account into the language I want to speak in. And then you can either have the subtitles in your language and the speaking in the other language, or the opposite way around. So subtitles in the language you're wanting to learn, and then the speaking. That way you can connect the words together when the subtitles are coming on to your language, and then you become more familiar with the words. And when you see a word that you don't know, you can write it in a notebook or on your phone, and learn what the word means. So you can learn that way.
Thank you, Katie, for that contribution. That helps a lot, and I believe those with Netflix or any other streaming services, I think they can do that. And even you don't have to have any streaming services, you can do it online. Thank you so much for that. Now I got a question from the listeners that I should talk about the importance of grammar. Like, is it important to learn grammar or not? Now I'm gonna give my point of view, and I'll let Varduhi and Katie and the rest of the speakers give their point of view. To learn a language, it's about seeing the language in its totality, right? You have to approach it in its totality. That is the only way you can really see its profoundness. So I would say grammar is part of language. Without grammar, then of course you know what I mean, like it's necessary to learn grammar. But the thing is, it's more about the approach, right? It's about the strategy you're using. Sometimes you want to just start off by learning some few phrases, some few expressions that will get you to a level where you'll be able to hold or have basic conversation, or even explain yourself, right? Express yourself in basic ways. But if you really want to improve the language, right, it could be English, whatever it is, you need to consider the other aspect of the language, which of course grammar is part of it. If you're not good at grammar, or if you don't know the grammar of the language, then the language you're learning has no structure, right? If you want to speak better, if you want people to really understand you, you need to learn grammar. So it is necessary to learn grammar, but do not let it hold you back from speaking, right? Because some people, they feel like, okay, their grammar is not good, so they don't want to speak because they feel like they're gonna make mistakes. by speaking. Do not let the grammar hold you back. Speak and speak and speak. But again, make sure that as you speak, you're correcting the grammatical mistakes. And that is where learning grammar counts. Go back home, pull up a grammar book or just go online, look up specific, maybe whatever grammar topic you are not good at, just make sure that you correct it and you improve yourself, day by day. That is what I can say. But let Varduhi also, express her point of view as far as the necessity of learning grammar is concerned. Varduhi, are you here? Okay. What about Katie? What's up, Katie?
Hiya. So what he's saying is correct, as in it is important. If you was to come up to me now and say, yesterday I done work, I'd understand what you meant completely. I'd understand you, but obviously the correct way to say it is, yesterday I did work. So I think a big barrier within learning a language is, the past, the present, and the future. It can be very confusing. But again, if you were to say to me, I am learned French or I am learned English, I would understand what you meant. But of course, it's like I am learning English. So yeah, it's important to know. But we do understand, the simpler ways of saying it. But of course, if you want to be very good at a language, you need to learn the differences.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Now let me go back to Burak. What is your point of view as far as learning grammar is concerned?
Yeah, I sometimes hear people saying that we don't need to know the difference between be going to future and will future. I hear people saying, you can say any, will or going to, it doesn't matter. But it matters. And sometimes some people, they say we don't need to learn past perfect tense. So, if you don't learn past perfect, we cannot say. If we say that, if I want to say when I got to the cafe, my friend had already left, and I will not be able to say this. Then I will say when I got to the cafe, my friend left, which means that he left in front of my eyes. So, I witnessed him leaving the cafe. So it will make, what's your purpose? You are learning English, so you can either to use it, for work, or so that you can improve yourself. And until, what point you're going to improve yourself. If you can't understand past perfect, you will not be able to read, literature. Like a novel, for example. You will not be able to understand it. So, and I think some people, they exaggerate the hardship of learning grammar. Well, the hardest part to learning English, I think, to me, is the usage of prepositions is very hard because you can use each preposition with different verbs and it may have some different meanings in some different contexts. But grammar is very easy. You can make a list of grammars that you have learned so far, and every now and then when you feel that you have forgotten something, you can go back to like Google. You can Google it, you can watch a video on YouTube, and you can remember the grammar again. So it's very easy. You need to sometimes, you need to polish, you need to get the dust off on the grammar. But the hardest part is to build up a strong vocabulary and keep them with you, because the bigger your vocabulary is, the higher the probability you will forget the vocabulary if you don't use them, if you don't use the language on a daily basis, or if you don't read, if you don't listen, if you don't use it at work, for example. So the hardest part is the vocabulary. People shouldn't exaggerate learning the grammar. It's not so hard.
Thank you, Burak. It's not so
You're
hard.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you for that. Let me welcome Gipsy. What's up, Gipsy? Gipsy, are you here?
Hi there.
Yeah, Gipsy, a little introduction of yourself and tell us about some strategies you use to, improve your language.
My native language is Spanish. I'm from Colombia. This is my first time in a party group to improve my speaking and listening skills in English. More than a suggestion or thing to say point of view about the grammatical question that you make, I want to make a question about that. I think that I have great skills to read text in English, but I can't progress with my skills about talking in English, about make a conversation with someone, or listen and understand something in this language. What do you think could be a good form to improve my listening and speaking skills in English?
Thank you, Gipsy. First of all, I just want to say congratulations on the fact that today is your first time joining in a party on Tandem. Congratulations, your first time, but then here you are participating, you're contributing to the party. We appreciate that. All right, so regarding how to improve your listening, what I can say is, okay, you listen and listen and listen and listen. Okay, so you just listen, right? The only way to be better at something is just do it, right? But here's the thing: you should be mindful the way you do it, right? It should be, they call something, you should do it intentionally, right? You don't just listen, but you listen with a purpose. What aspect of the language do you want to improve as far as listening is concerned, right? That is very important. So for sometimes your listening is not that good because of the accent. It could be the accent being the problem, right? The major problem why you don't understand, right? Or sometimes it could be the pronunciation, right? There are so many factors that come together as far as listening, a skill is concerned. So you have to identify those aspects of listening that serve as an obstacle, right, to you becoming better at listening. When you find those aspects, then you start working at, improving them bit by bit, one after the other. So basically it's about listening, but it's also about knowing your areas of weakness in terms of, like, maybe the accent, or maybe the pronunciation, or maybe the speed, right? The speed at which native speakers speak. Maybe it could be the speed. So know these aspects and know the ones that are problematic for you and try to tackle them. And also, what I can say as far as listening is concerned is it's about your level of listening, right? If you engage yourself with activities or materials that are way higher above your level, then of course you will not be able to understand anything. Always try to make sure that the material you are engaging with, or whatever activity you are doing as far as listening is concerned, it's kind of a little bit higher than your level. So if it is lower, way lower than your level, you'll feel bored. But if it is a little bit higher, then you'll be interested to keep on listening, and you'll be able to understand certain aspect of it. And with that little understanding, you will have the motivation to keep on, listening more and more, and also try to note down certain aspect of the language, like stress and intonation, right? The stress of the language or English, where are certain stress placed? Try to note that as you listen. Also, the intonation of the words, right? Also try to note these, nuances. I think if you do that, you'll be able to improve your listening activity. But at the end of the day, it's all about time and effort, right? How many times do you practice listening activity, and how long are you doing it for? It's a matter of time, patience. The process is going to take time, so you have to be patient. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you are putting in the efforts. You are working day in and day out just to be better. Thank you. I hope this helps. Gipsy.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. All right. Now, with that being said, let me talk about the first strategy you guys can use. In terms of learning language or improving your language. Association is one of the strategies that you can use, especially if you're learning new vocabulary, right? If you're learning vocabulary, association is very helpful. And when I say association, what does it mean? So association basically means that you learn a new word, and for you to remember that word, right, in order not to forget it, or for you to remember, you associate that word with any word in your in your native language, right? For instance, you're learning a word in English, and that word is close to a word in Turkish language or German, whatever your native language is. Try to find that association, that connection. So when you think about the word in your native language, it reminds you of the new word you just learned or the expression you just learned. So association is one of the strategies you can use. The next thing is assembling. Assembling is also one of the strategies you can apply as you learn new vocabulary, right? I remember Burak talk about the Turkish language system. It has prefixes and suffixes, right? The more suffixes you add to it, the more suffix. The more suffix you add to it, the more it becomes longer and longer. So you can assembling words in terms of their groups, right? For example, you can group the parts of speech, right? You can group vocabulary in terms of parts of speech. So if you're learning vocabulary, you can ask yourself, what part of speech does this word belong to? Is it a verb? Is it a noun? Is it a preposition? What it is? So you can make a list of the parts of speech, and as you learn vocabulary, you write them in the correct part of speech. This can help you to also remember and use new vocabulary. All right, now let me go back to Varduhi. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So, Varduhi, as a teacher, what are some of the strategies you can, share with the listeners, and of course all of us, that we can use, we can apply in our language learning?
Yes, I also wanted to speak up, but I didn't unmute myself. So about grammar, you were talking about grammar. It's a hard question for me because I have students, they really don't want to do grammar. It's kind of modern style of learning languages, and they always tell me, let's not practice grammar, just conversational English. But I truly believe we all need grammar. We all need to understand and to feel, not just only understand, but to feel, and just in details, like 100% to know where we need to use grammar, and basically at least basic rules. Otherwise it becomes completely mess without grammar, because I have such kind of students who they came from other language schools, and they were like, it was really cool with them. It was really cool. We were just like talking the way we could, but it's kind of mess, and it really takes for a while to improve their skills, their language skills. But I really don't know for sure which one is right, to practice grammar first or just start talking and without thinking about grammar. This is a question which all the teachers are thinking, and I would of course like to listen your opinion, what you think about this. But maybe it would be really a good idea to mix both conversational practice and also grammar. If you start, I am more pro, like, if you just start grammar, you just understand the rules and then try to practice, try to just you learn, for example, you learn present tense. I just do like that. I just ask my students, okay, we learned, let's say, to be, and now we are going to discuss. I'm just for 2 weeks. It can take 2 weeks just to talk using the verb to be, and just practicing, listening, different kind of exercises, conversational exercises, discussions, and I think that that's a great idea to know, and then to be sure that your student knows how to use that term. And so step by step, if you know one thing, I just like to make sure that it's already easy for them.